Greetings and hallucinations, ladies and lads. I am Chancellor of the Harmonious Frequencies of the Mighty Empire of Onion, and this is Minecraft. Well, I have been thinking about things. We are still working on the storage facility over here. And, yeah, I got a second module set up for it already. Whoa. So let's go take a peek at that. I haven't put stairs on the sides. I will put stairs on the sides so it's easier to walk up and down. But yeah, here's module number 1. This is the input box right there. I went ahead and put cobblestone up here. It's probably not going to stay that way, cobblestone and iron. That was just for demonstration purposes, and the diorite was put in this chest. Yeah. I don't know how that cobblestone got over there. That's questionable. But anyways, yeah. So this chest right here is sort of a in-between sort of input. So if I put items in here, it will filter through the entire system. This one first, and then into these. If I put stuff into this chest, it will only filter through this one. It'll skip this one entirely, right? Because it's a modular system. And so I have room for 4 more, but I don't have the resources for 4 more right now. I would have to do quite a bit of grinding and stuff like that. So, I have been thinking about it though. The farms right next to us over here are going to go into this first system. The fish farm, iron farm, and all that may have to come over to this second system. Just so that it's not bogging anything down, you know. I don't know if I want to filter through all of the fishing stuff through here, because that is a lot of items. It's so many items. And they're going to fill up chests pretty quickly. So, yeah, I think I'm going to have all of the natural farms coming into here. The fish farm, the iron farm, probably into this one. And then everything from the auto smelter down in the mines and stuff over into this next module over here, right? Maybe I don't need to go that far. Maybe I could have it piped into this module here, but I'm going to try to put it into here. That way I just have to build this one and then pipe it over. But the next problem that I come up with is that to get a lot of these items over there, I mentioned the methods for doing so last time. One of them involves hopper chains, right? You just chain a whole bunch of hoppers over there. That's expensive. It's a lot of iron. A lot of iron. A lot of wood, too, for chests, which wood is easy to come by. We have the wood farm down in the mine, and so that's super easy to get. But yeah, hopper chains are pretty expensive. So the next and probably most widely used method is water streams. The problem with that is that it requires packed ice, which requires silk touch pick. Man, who's been trampling my crops, I wonder? Dang zombies. Silk touch pick, yeah. And so that's something that I've been trying to get this entire series and still have not been successful to acquire. So that's super sad. But it's also very necessary. So I think what I'm going to have to do is just grind out some enchants, try to get a silk touch diamond pick, if I can. Whoa. This hoe belongs over at the village farm, that's for sure. You always have to have hoes around the villages. Yeah. So I do need to get the silk touch pick going anyway. So I'm going to do that. I'd like to look up a video, try to find out what is the most efficient way of getting it. Do I enchant books to try to get it? Do I just go ahead and enchant picks and hope that it pops up on one of those things? I don't know. So I'm going to look up some videos. I'm going to get some information on that, and then I will relay that information to you guys, my viewers. So yeah, I'm gonna get on that. Alright, so clearly I stood around in the skeleton farm for a little while, gathering up some levels. The general consensus is to put stuff in here and see what it's going to give us. Like, see, this is efficiency 4, that's not what we want. We want silk touch on this guy. And so all we have to do is throw something else in here, get an enchant on it. I don't know if it matters if I do the level 1 or if I have to do the level 3 to reset them. That's something we can experiment with and find out. So I have these shears here as well because if I get a book and put it in here, let's try this. Okay, if we were to get a Silk Touch book, then I could take that book and put it on the shears, and believe it or not, if you use shears to break blocks, it doesn't use up durability. So without mending, without unbreaking, or anything like that, if you just have Silk Touch shears, you can go around collecting, I think, cobwebs are the most common thing to use. Another thing to take note of is I picked up a bunch of this stuff from the skeleton farm. So if you have some items that have unnecessary enchantments, like this Unbreaking 2 helmet, that's not anything exciting. More notably, Feather Falling 1, Protection 2. Let's see. Feather Falling 2. Yeah, because I picked up a Feather Falling 4 chain boots, and so I have those in here so I can repair them in the future. So I don't need the Feather Falling 1 or 2 from these. So if I just put these in here, it repairs them a tad, and it removes the enchant. So bear that in mind as well. If you ever want to repair something that has an enchant on it, you want to preserve the enchant, use an anvil. If you don't want to preserve the enchant, then just use your crafting menu just like this. I could put these pants in here. These are already full health pants, but when I put them in there still, it'll consume these, and it will be an unenchanted item. So that's something to keep in mind. It's like this one, Projectile Protection 3. I'm probably not going to use that very much. Blast Protection 2. Let's just get a regular pair of pants and try to change the enchantment on them if we can. So yeah, that was just for demonstration purposes. Here, these boots I will not do that to, because they are pretty fabulous. Fire protection isn't all that great, but Feather Falling 4, I try not to ever avoid Feather Falling 4. I always want to have boots with Feather Falling on them. Okay, so yeah, we tried this out. The diamond pick, it's not telling me we have Silk Touch available. So yeah, let's just throw these chain boots in here. Blast protection, projectile protection, depth strider's pretty cool, so we'll get that and then throw the pick in here again. And that has changed what it's giving us, and it's still not anything that I want. It does appear that we can use the level 1 enchant to reshuffle, re-roll everything. We get Fortune 3, that's pretty good, but we already have that. Right? Yeah, it's in my ender chest right now, because I was making room for this other stuff. So yeah, Fortune 3 is kind of nice, but it's not what we want. I don't know how well y'all can see him in there, but there is a skeleton with diamond armor. I imagine he's going to be the last one to die, but just in case. Yeah, there you can kind of see him. He's behind the guy with gold armor. There he is. It's pretty rare. I don't know if he's going to drop any diamond armor. It didn't look like he did. It looked like he dropped a bow. Oh, he did! Diamond chestplate. There we go. Pretty magical. I've been combining these bows, because bows are handy to have around. It's how you make dispensers, and we are going to be needing to make dispensers to work with the water streams to get all this going again. I decided I'm going to gather up levels here at the skeleton farm a little bit longer, and then I'll just use the enchantment setup that I put inside the place right next to the beacon. You know what I'm talking about. Also, you can't re-enchant items. So if an item already has an enchantment on it, and you go try to put it into the enchanting table, you will be left with no results. So see these boots? Nothing. Okay. Another thing is too, if there is underneath here Silk Touch, I'll totally miss it, because there is a possibility that it is going to give us up to 3 different enchantments with the level 3 one. I don't know if that's the case with level 2. Sometimes I think it'll give you 3 enchantments. They'll just be lower level ones. But yeah, up to 3 enchantments. So it could be Unbreaking, Efficiency, and Silk Touch there. But all I'm looking for is for it to specifically say Silk Touch. I imagine this is going to take quite a bit longer than I initially expected it to, because so far, yeah, nothing has turned out decent. Just throw that book away, and we'll check it again. Alright, so now I have to go get some more levels before we can do a decent enchant. So I'm keeping at it, keeping on going. This is taking a lot longer than I was expecting it to today. The video that I watched, the guy did, I think it was 12 enchants, and got 4 Silk Touch enchantments. So he was super lucky. He was also doing it in Minecraft 1.8, and so I don't know if the frequency of Silk Touch was dropped in more recent updates. I think that's a strong possibility. Yeah, because I haven't kept up absolutely with every update that goes on. But yeah, I'm going to keep at it, try to gather up some more XPs, more levels, and get this enchant going. Here it is, finally, after all these years. Oh man, I have been here grinding this out for so long. Way too long. Feather Falling 3, Fire Protection 2, and Silk Touch. Silk Touch is all we want out of it though. Get our Lapis back. This was a level 1 enchant, if you could believe that. It just said Feather Falling 3 on there. I clicked on it and it gave me Projectile Protection 3 and Unbreaking 2. Pretty impressive for a level 1, I would say. So we have the anvil here. I think since we got it on the book and not on the pick itself, I am sorely tempted to put it on the shears. If it'll work. It doesn't work. Well, that solves that. Here we go. Silk Touch. Just by itself. That's perfectly fine. I have other books that I can add to it. Mending, and so forth. So, finally, a success. Leather boots. I don't know why I want to hang on to those, but I will. It was pretty impressive for a level 1 enchant. So, after all of this work, and all of this time, whoa, we are still not out of the woods yet. I have a couple of options now, as far as collecting ice. One, of course, is to fly around and try to find, an ice biome. Ice spikes biome, or whatever it's called. Because then we get the compacted ice, or whatever it is. And, yeah, I can explore the properties of that block. I can't remember if it tends to melt when it's around light sources or not. I was thinking that regular ice does, though. When it's close to torches. I don't plan on having torches inside the tunnels, because I don't think I'm gonna keep the tunnels large enough for enemies to spawn in. Not only that, there will be water running through it, and most enemies don't spawn on water. Some squid might, but besides that, we shouldn't have problems with monsters spawning inside there. Yeah, so we do have a couple of options, like I say. I can't remember what I did with my bucket, but I definitely need that. Finding the ice spikes biome will take a while, I'm sure, because I haven't even seen a hint of one anywhere. And I think my bucket is down here somewhere. Here it is. There we go. The other alternative, of course, is to just go high up in the world and place water down. There we go. So, let me demonstrate. There we go. There we go. Okay, so if you remember, when we were building this little structure up here, when we didn't have the water sources covered by these center blocks here, they ended up turning into ice. And so, what I'm interested in trying out first, is a little experiment here. So I don't want to mess up the farm, but we know that at this altitude, water tends to freeze, right? So let's drop down just a little bit. And we're going to build a 2x2 area here. Oops. This. Okay. And then I want to cover this one up like that, so that we can be sure that this isn't going to freeze. Then you could probably guess that I'm going to set this up as an infinite water source. Use this to place water outside of that area, and then harvest that ice with the silk touch. Right? So, if that doesn't make sense, let me try to explain. Well, that didn't work. Yeah, I still have yet to master the art of flying so far. Oh no, that didn't work either. So, check out the message down here. Reach the goal post-mortal. Yeah. I came flying down off of the iron farm and was trying to land by the village breeder. And, of course, I didn't think about it long enough. And I just kind of dove straight down, crashed right into the ground, face first. And thankfully I was holding my totem of undying. And so I just kind of splashed into a puddle of XP and started regaining health again. I don't know if the XP was me dying, because I had been killing a bunch of mobs from on top of the iron farm, just shooting down at them. And so the XP might have just been the mobs down there, but I didn't lose any levels. I was level 25 when I died, and I was level 25 as I was not dead. So, yeah, Totem of Undying, perfectly great for flying around like a noob and face diving into the earth. Okay, so I got started doing this. I think I was being kinda dumb. Maybe not completely stupid, but probably wasn't my best moment here trying to figure this out. Alright, so we have infinite water source, basically. In here, right? Oh, I don't think I'm ever going to be able to stop this from working, because of course it's an infinite water source. There we go. so let's dig these up real quick. I noticed that after spending quite a bit of time standing here waiting for the water to freeze, it wasn't working. I don't know why. We're at the right altitude. There, we've got 2 blocks of ice already from this way. So I wonder if it's because the water was running. I know that when those source blocks were running out the sides on each side, they were still freezing in the middle. So I don't know for sure that that's the problem. But yeah, now we can see when the water is not running, we do have some ice blocks. So let's try this out. Okay, there's an ice. There's an ice, and of course the water just goes back into an infinite a source block because it's wider than 3. If 2 ices spawn right next to each other, if 2 water source blocks freeze right next to each other, then I'll have to replace it with a water to fix it. But yeah. So this is one way that we should be able to acquire some ice. Is it the most efficient way? No. Is it the best way? Probably not either. The best way would be to locate a ice biome. And yeah, I do plan on doing that one of these days. But for right now, I think we're okay. Now, the problem with this ice is that it melts. Do we have anybody good in here? No? Or I go getting distracted. I haven't spent a lot of time around the villager farm anyway. I'm not worried about it. But yeah, so ice melts after a while. I don't know what the specifics are. I should look it up so that I can tell you guys and let you know. But if we drop an ice there, drop an ice here, I think it has something to do with the light level. I am going to look up some information real quick, and I will be back. For you guys, it'll be immediately, but I am going to watch a quick video about the properties of Minecraft ice, and see if this is going to be what we need to get our project accomplished here. Okay, hilariously, I'm having a really difficult time finding any information about ice. There's a lot of ice farms around, automatic ice farms and stuff like that, and they are similar kind of to what we did up here. Not entirely, but somewhat. Oh, that was a bad one. I gotta get a little bit of altitude here. I might get used to flying one of these days, but it is not this day. Okay. One thing that I just thought of a second ago was that what I said about these sort of spawning right next to each other. If they do that, like I said, it will void the infinite water source. So I think every other one of these, I want to drop a block over the top of it. Let's just pick this first. There we go. Thank you. So you can see that this is working. It's super janky. Real, nothing fancy, you know. Wow. That worked out to be correct, surprisingly enough. Okay, yeah, this is my work pick. Oh. I have to be careful with this thing because it will pick the bricks right out from under me. But yeah, so this will keep every other water block from turning into ice. The ones in between should turn into ice and we should be all good. So I will be able to come up here and more or less farm this ice. It's not the most efficient farm, and I was right to assume that the elevation had something to do with it. It has to be above Y94, I think they said. So here we're at Y154. So we're plenty high enough in elevation for this to work properly. So it is slow. If I want a large volume of ice, I should go find an ice biome. And so I think that's probably what I'm going to end up doing. Either during the week between this episode and the next episode, or we'll spend next episode traveling and exploring, trying to find an ice biome. And villagers are about to get totally wrecked, so I gotta get back to the turret and take a nap. Kind of. I still didn't get any information about whether or not light levels influence melting of blocks, and hilariously, most of the videos I saw about ice were talking about how not to get ice. They said, you know, this is what you want to do if you want to avoid water freezing. And so we can see here, this block that I put the torch right next to melted. This one over here is not melted. So that is confirmed then by this experiment that having a torch right next to a water will, or an ice, will in fact turn it to water. Oh no, quit moving. Don't you know you're just supposed to stand there and take it? There you go. Drop some sticks for me, that's nice. That poor spider never did anything to anybody, but I killed him anyways. Because I am a brute beast. There we go. Also, I like XPs. And how'd this grass get underneath the water? I didn't think that was possible. Is that with a new update or a new snapshot or something? Still let me know in the comments if you know. So yeah, that is a way that we can get ice. Like I said, there's not going to be any lights inside the tunnels. And so I don't think that I'm going to have to worry about the ice melting down there. Okay. So, yeah, Extreme Hills biome above Y94, which I don't think we're above Y94 here. No, 78. So that ice that wasn't melting, just sitting there, that should be typical of all the ice that I place around here. So we'll give it a try. It's pretty easy to tell if an item water stream thing gets broken, because items will cease to be transported. Just won't show up where they're supposed to be. Oh, whoa, that was close. So yeah, it will definitely be easy to tell. Of course, aside from manual ice farms and going to find an ice spike biome, I could always just come over here to where my little buddy is hiding and find out that there is ice forming inside here. I didn't realize we were high enough up at this point, but yeah, even this low, right here, where I'm standing, would be the level that we have to be for ice to start forming. They said it's anywhere that snow packs like this, and so, yeah, this little pond up here works perfectly well. I'm gonna try to get in there and get the ice out without hurting the little buddy. I still want him to be alive and exist in there forever. I still need a name for him, so if you have a suggestion, leave it down in the comments, and I will name the guy as soon as I can get around to it. I've got name tags a million down there, and plenty of experience to name the thing, so, yeah, let me know what you think. But I can stand up here and mine out ice every now and then whenever it freezes. Collect these up. Like I say, this isn't the most efficient ice farm. There's plenty of them online to check out. Some are set up diagonally, which takes advantage of water's tendency to form solid source blocks across diagonal areas. So, yeah, lots of really clever ideas and farms for that. So this is just something that I came up with spur of the moment, just for my very basic needs, and that's probably going to be plenty for me, because, yeah, the water streams, you don't have to have them all ice. It's faster if you do have them all ice, but if you just have an ice at the end of every water stream, it works out perfect. So that's probably what I will end up doing unless we go find an ice biome, which, like I say, I would like to do. We'll talk about that between this episode and the next one, but that's going to be it for this episode. So if you want to catch the next one, be sure to subscribe. Consider supporting my channel through the Patreon link down in the video description, and feel free to check out any of my other videos or playlists that you might be interested in. I thank you so much for all the time you spend on my channel, and I hope blessings of wisdom and peace on all of you. Farewell.